Coming up on Ag Week TV, USDA increases help for ranchers who lost cattle in spring blizzards.
We'll check out the wheat condition in central North Dakota on the Ag Week Cereals Crop Tour.
We'll meet one of animal agriculture's most visible ambassadors.
And policymakers hit the road to hear what farmers want in the next Farm Bill. Welcome to Ag Week TV. I'm Emily Beal. Ranchers who lost calves in the 2 April blizzards get some good news. The USDA increased the payment rate for calves lost through the Livestock Indemnity Program. The payments, which are distributed through FSA, are based on 75% of the average fair market value for livestock. The change means the value for calves in the bottom tier, those less than 250 pounds, increased by nearly $300 a head.
Well, it went from $175 to $475 roughly, so it was very significant. This will have the vast majority of calves that were lost are going to be in that tier. When you're looking at the level of losses that we believe are out there with over 2,000 notices of loss right now, we think that this is going to have a tremendous impact.
Ranchers have until March 1st, 2023 to file a report of losses. Ukraine will export grain through Odessa ports, despite the recent Russian missile attack intended to stop exports. Ukrainian President Zelensky says the missile attack threatened to end a deal to allow trade to resume. The deal, signed just 24 hours before the missile attack, was hailed as a diplomatic breakthrough that could restore Ukrainian grain shipments to pre-war levels and bring Ukraine at least $1 billion a month. Zelensky says he hopes to show the world that they won't allow Russia to stop Ukrainian crops that the Middle East and Africa depend on. Growth in corn and soybean acres has made it harder to find wheat fields in some parts of North Dakota, but the state is still a leader in wheat production. The annual Wheat Quality Tour fanned out across North Dakota and northwest Minnesota this week to gauge the prospects for this year's crop. The tour is led by wheat experts, but many of the participants are from other areas of the industry, such as milling, baking, and trade. They saw a crop that's a few weeks behind schedule due to late planting, but one that's benefited from great growing conditions and should produce an above-average crop.
There's maybe a little bit tipped back. Some of the heads didn't fill to the tops in the fields that we were at. And there is some grasshoppers out there, so moisture. We had some we planted real early. That's got enough to finish out. But some of the later seeded crop is, it's got some season ahead of it yet, so probably a month or a little better till harvest.
Despite late planting for many farmers, this year's crop could put North Dakota ahead of Kansas in wheat production. For the past few weeks, we've been touring around the region on our annual Ag Week Cereals Crop Tour. We start this week's tour in northeast South Dakota near South Shore.
Our cereal crops take up a little bit more than half of all the research that we do here.
Al Hewer is the manager of South Dakota State University's Northeast Research Farm near the town of South Shore. Like much of the region, they didn't start planting until the first week of May, 3 weeks behind when they'd like to plant. Still, he says their cereal crops are looking good for now. But researchers and farmers alike are keeping their fingers crossed that they won't be hurt by hot spells that have been coming during a critical period for head filling.
The crops look good, but the maturity is obviously behind, and now we're dealing with the summer heat, so hopefully it won't take too much of an effect on yield.
A good yield year here would be 100 bushels an acre for spring wheat and 150 bushels plus for oats. Hewer says it's hard to say what this year will bring. After a rainy May, precip has been down through June and July.
If we can catch another rain and help with grain fill, and now they're talking forecast, maybe a little bit cooler conditions, that'll sure help in late maturity.
Hewer expects harvest will be about 3 weeks behind, but he says the good news is that they're seeing relatively low disease pressure.
Nobody's out here alone, fighting conditions. We're all in this together.
At South Shore, South Dakota, this is Mikkel Pates on the Ag Week Cereals Crop Tour.
I'm here in Wilton, North Dakota on the Ag Week Cereals Crop Tour with Jamie Scherhammer of Hefty Seeds. And Jamie, tell me a little bit about how this year's wheat crop has been.
We're a little earlier than probably most of the region is, so planted timely, probably the best potentials we've ever seen as far as I see going forward. Like, the crops look really even, they just look really good, really high potentials.
Now we're coming off of a drought year, like you said. You guys started out dry. Talk a little bit about the difference between last year's crop and this year's crop.
Yeah, well, last year's crop, there wasn't one, right? I mean, most of our wheat got hayed most of our corn got hayed, like we just didn't have any crop at all. So going into this one, I think we felt like, we were worried right up until the time we got that snow, and then everything kind of fixed itself. And then along with some, again, timely rains, we have the best potential ever. So what I noticed mostly is just attitudes, right? I mean, I still think farmers were profitable last year, but the attitude is so much better this year because of the potentials we're having.
Now we've had a lot more moisture, maybe not so much here as in other parts of the region, but still quite a bit more than normal. Are we seeing any disease pressures because of that?
Yeah, absolutely. Most of the guys we're working with are pretty progressive. So we're actually doing a fungicide with the herbicide application. We did a lot of acres on the flag leaf this year as well. And then absolutely everybody did a head scab application. And, part of the problem with those head scab applications has been just product availability. I know now, we were one of the first ones in the area, but as product is shifting around here, I know some places are really short because there are so many acres getting done this year.
In Wilton, North Dakota, this is Jenny Schlecht on the Ag Week Cereals Crop Tour.
The Ag Week Cereals Crop Tour is sponsored by Hefty Seed Company of Wilton and Herdsfield, North Dakota, Corteva Agriscience, and Mosaic.
Up next on Ag Week TV, Minnesota farmers get their say in what they'd like in the 2023 Farm Bill.
You can get the field results you want in varying conditions with the flexibility of the Summers VRT Renegade. Featuring on-the-fly blade angle adjustment from 0 to 19 degrees. And if you want the simplicity of a super coulter with the ability to move a little dirt, you'll love the all-new Summers Super Coulter Samurai. Go to summersmfg.com or visit your local dealer to learn more about North America's broadest line of tillage equipment and other products from North Dakota-based Summers Manufacturing.
The boots are polished, and the bows are rosined. Voices are warmed, and the hats are donned. The stage is ready. So are we. We do this every night, just for you. The Medora Musical. Explore it, adore it, Medora.
All right, here's the free gift I got for opening up a checking account. Let's see what I got.
Okay, guys, so I got this portable DVD player.
Yeah, I'm not sure why my bank would give me a tiny waffle maker.
So it's a tumbler, but it doesn't fit in any of my cup holders.
I wasn't even sure they still made these.
Is it for kids? Is this for kids?
Don't fall for the free gift. Find a bank that cares about what you really need. Cornerstone Bank.
Small or large, Superior Grain Equipment has the storage, conditioning, and handling equipment to fit any size operation with a wide variety of options and accessories, including our patented Blockbuster auger to help break up blockages over the center sump gate, and a full line of mixed flow grain dryers with even heating, excellent efficiency, and expandable capacities. Protect your investment and market your grain. Get superior quality, protection, and reliability with Superior Grain Equipment.
Dynaflow is the ultimate high-volume water management pump. Whether you're experiencing flooding, emptying sloughs, transferring ponds, or working on irrigation, the Dynaflow pump works in as little as 18 inches of water and is designed to move 3,000 gallons per minute. The Dynaflow lift pump is the perfect upgrade to your drain tile system. Using line shaft turbine pump technology, these pumps are made to last while operating efficiently. Dynaflow drain tile pumps can move up to 1,500 gallons per minute, up to 3,400 feet away.
Crop and livestock producers, emerging farmers, and food programs all have a lot at stake in the next Farm Bill. A U.S. House Subcommittee on Agriculture held a listening session in Northfield, Minnesota this week to hear what stakeholders want in the 2023 Farm Bill.
Southeast Minnesotans had the chance to tell policymakers what they want to see in the next Farm Bill.
I'd appreciate you guys having your ears open.
Members of a House Ag Subcommittee on Commodities and Risk Management came to a Northfield farm to listen.
For as much as we know how to do it, as good as we are at it, we have gotten zero support from the federal government.
Minnesota Representative Angie Craig says these sessions are an important way to hear about the challenges facing large and small producers.
Crop insurance, obviously, that title remains a super, super important element of the Farm Bill, and making sure that we build out the conservation title.
Dan Blessing, president of the Minnesota Farm Bureau, echoed the statements of several farmers at the event about the importance of crop insurance protections.
I think the recurring theme is this Farm Bill that we currently have is good. Just some tweaks here and there, but let's keep that integrity because it has worked fairly well for our farmers.
They also heard from agencies covered by the bill like SNAP and emergency food programs. Representative Sherry Bustos of Illinois says they'll work to craft a good bill.
What do we start doing, stop doing, keep doing that we can take out of the current Farm Bill? And as we look at that, what can we afford to do?
This was the 4th listening session around the country. If you drive along I-94 near the Twin Cities, you've probably seen the sign for Famo Feeds. Their big sign stands along the interstate near Freeport, Minnesota. Nicole Pates has more on this high-profile company in this week's Ag Week cover story.
Famo Feeds and its predecessors have been around since 1903.
Farmers would bring in, some of their grains, and they would exchange their wheat for flour back in those days.
Famo Feeds has grown and changed considerably since the Thielen family established it as a flour mill and feed mill in the early 1900s. The feed part of the business eventually split off, and the Bestie family has owned it for more than 40 years. A fire in one of their plants in 2002 led the Besties to rebuild and rebrand on a prominent site along the interstate. Today, it's one of a small number of family-owned feed manufacturers in Minnesota with its own brand. President John Bestie says the key to their success is simple.
Quality and customer service. The farm likes consistency. The animals like consistency.
Famo produces feeds, starter feeds, and supplements along with a variety of animal nutrition products for a whole range of species. They sell to producers and dealers all over the upper Midwest as far as Colorado. Bestie says farms have changed a lot in recent decades, and so has their company.
Today, we are 99% distribution orientated. We have just a small handful of customers in this Freeport area that we had from 20 years ago or 30 years ago. But other than that, we sell wholesale. We manufacture, deliver to other feed dealers in the upper Midwest, and then they add the grains and certain products and sell retail. So our business has changed quite a bit.
Veterinarian Kenneth Swanson is Famo's Director of Ruminant Nutrition. He says Famo is expert at making feed pellets that assure animals the right amount of nutrition in every bite.
We offer the same, technical ability, technical skills that you get from working with more of the national brands, but we're much more nimble and we can make decisions much faster.
So while the livestock business always changes, Famo Feeds hopes to change with it. For Ag Week, this is Nicole Pates at Freeport, Minnesota.
You can read more in the next Ag Week magazine or at agweek.com. Freeport, Minnesota is also home to the Sully White Flour Mill. Sully is one of the state's longest-running family-owned flour mills. In fact, it shares a history with Famo Feeds. Sully was also started in 1903 by the Thielen family, which also started the feed mill that became Famo. Today, Gary Thielen is president and owner of Sully. Fire destroyed the plant in 2011, and they quit milling white flour when they rebuilt. But they make a variety of other products, including baking mixes and whole wheat, rye, and buckwheat flour. He sells mostly through small retailers.
I've got the retail store here, plus I've got customers, like farmers markets and, just little mom and pop businesses that buy stuff and, sell it in their stores.
While Thielen still mills specialty flours, it buys high-protein white flour from Cargill and repacks it with the Sully White label. Ahead on Ag Week TV, making your ag spraying more efficient.
For over 130 years, Farmers Mutual of Nebraska has been providing protection from the unexpected. Farmers and ranchers choose Farmers Mutual insurance coverage for their industry experience, prompt claim service, and unmatched financial strength. Experience an insurance plan that's customized for your operation. Visit fmne.com to contact an agent for a quote today. Farmers Mutual of Nebraska, always alongside you.
I'm Peter Bosch. I've been working with Gateway Building Systems for a little over 20 years now. I chose Gateway Building Systems to build my shop because I wanted a building that could both be used for my equipment and as a place for my family to hang out and do things. I would advise anybody that's thinking about working with Gateway to go in and talk to the guys there, tell them your plans and your future dreams, and let them design something for you.
Systems way. Good work, good pay, in a good life, lets me live my way. Good work, good pay, in a good life, Trans Systems way. Good work, good pay, in a good life, lets me live my way. It's Trans Systems way. Good work.
Every season has an end. After spending your whole life building something, it can be hard to move on to your next stage in life. But when that time comes, you deserve to have someone you trust guide you through the process. And by trusting us to pass on your legacy, it gives someone else the chance to create their own. Every auction has a story. Let us share yours.
Go beyond the headlines with an Ag Week membership. Get in-depth agribusiness reporting, original farm and ranch stories, and fact-based research for the most comprehensive ag news in the upper Midwest. Experienced ag journalists bring you exclusive ag news, insights, and policy updates you won't find anywhere else. Become a member today and get unlimited access to Ag Week and Ag Week TV.
Could the region be in for warmer weather as we head into August? Here's John with our agri-weather outlook.
Across the south central part of Canada, the northern plains of the U.S., the western Corn Belt, the middle of the continent. Typically, the hottest time of the year on average is in July, but some years you get very hot weather into August, especially years where it's been a little bit on the dry side, and that's what we've got going on this year. August heat, at least starting out the month, looks very hot this year in many areas of the country. Now, there will be scattered storms. Most of them are going to be around the northern periphery of this big high-pressure region. I'll show you where that is in just a minute. But the combination of additional evaporation rates this time of year, especially with the weather being warmer than average, and probably at best less than average rainfall, we're looking at that moisture balance to trend toward drying. In other words, areas with dry soil will likely tend to go a little bit drier. Hot weather, because of the jet stream up into the northern Rockies, northern plains of the U.S., you're going to see a lot of hot weather. By hot, by the red stuff, I'm talking near 90, in the 90s, or in some cases up around 100 degrees. And right around the middle of this week, I do expect a surge of temperatures to around or above 100 degrees to build up into Nebraska, Iowa, parts of South Dakota, maybe even as far north as southern Minnesota, seeing temperatures approaching or exceeding 100 degrees. This is not all going to be that hot. A lot of this will just be 90s, but a generally warmer than average week as we go through the week. Now, the rains, the storms, are going to be most concentrated near the jet stream, especially in areas where you get a southwest and northeast flow. There will be some storms in this pattern. A lot of this is going to be in southern Canada, but there will be some opportunities for storms into the northern tier of states, into the U.S. South of there, it will likely be fairly widely scattered. Heading into the second week, not a lot of change in the pattern, although a little bit of a dip in the jet stream over the northeastern parts of the region will drive some cooler weather down into eastern Canada. Most of the United States will see warmer than average temperatures for very likely the first 2 weeks of August. As far as the rainfall goes, most of southern Canada will get showers and thunderstorms. Some of those will end up continuing the pattern of rainier than average weather. In the southern prairie provinces, there will be thunder showers along the eastern seaboard and parts of the eastern Corn Belt, but the northern plains, it's going to be sporadic at best. There certainly will be storm chances, but it's not going to be widespread. It's going to be hit and miss. Southern plains look fairly dry. The second week of the period will again be likely fairly rainy across southern Canada and along the eastern seaboard. Generally fairly dry in the middle of the country. Northern plains, upper Midwest Great Lakes will have their storm opportunities. Some of those storms could yield some heavy rains, but it will likely be fairly scattered. I don't expect it to be generally rainy except in southern Canada and along the East Coast the next couple of weeks.
Since the inception of Vatterstadt, the spirit of innovation has led the company. We push the limits, providing innovative and reliable seeding and tillage solutions that simplify everyday life for farmers. We continue to reimagine the capabilities and technology behind farm machinery, providing customers with a perfect emergence while maximizing their yields. We look forward to growing together.
It's summertime, and that means it's time for Farm Fest. Join us for more of what you love, August 2nd through the 4th. Farm Fest brings you more demonstrations, family entertainment, food vendors, and exhibits. Take in the Farm Fest forums and visit the seed plots, ride and drive demonstrations, and new networking lounge with live music and refreshments. See for yourself at Farm Fest, August 2nd through the 4th. For tickets, visit farmfest.com. Network, learn, grow, and experience more at Farm Fest.
Every season has an end. After spending your whole life building something, it can be hard to move on to your next stage in life. But when that time comes, you deserve to have someone you trust guide you through the process. And by trusting us to pass on your legacy, it gives someone else the chance to create their own. Every auction has a story. Let us share yours.
Small or large, Superior Grain Equipment has the storage, conditioning, and handling equipment to fit any size operation with a wide variety of options and accessories, including our patented Blockbuster auger to help break up blockages over the center sump gate, and a full line of mixed flow grain dryers with even heating, excellent efficiency, and expandable capacities. Protect your investment and market your grain. Get superior quality, protection, and reliability with Superior Grain Equipment.
It's going to be an interesting year in agriculture. We have already seen the markets trade to new crop highs and levels not seen in years. There is uncertainty around the 2022 growing season. Will drought impact production? How many acres will be switched? And will demand remain strong? Are you getting the information you need to make the right marketing decisions? With the changing market environment, maybe it's time to change how you approach your grain marketing. Let Martinson Ag Risk Management get you the news that matters and a marketing plan that suits your needs.
Welcome back to Ag Week TV. Joining me today is Jason Danley with Ag Spray Equipment right outside of Fargo.
We're one of the industry leaders in spraying equipment, manufacturing of spraying equipment, and distribution of liquid handling and liquid application equipment.
So you guys have been in this industry for quite a long time.
Ag Spray Equipment did start in 1965, and then in 2014, Ag Spray Equipment made the acquisition of Horvick Manufacturing, and that's where we are today.
So the ag industry has really changed over the years. How has that impacted how you work with dealers?
Well, one of the big things that we've found in the last couple of years that's impacted our dealers is just the way that agricultural business on the spraying and liquid application side has changed. And one of the biggest things that came with that has been increased rate of spraying water with whatever chemical it is. We've gone out and we've looked for opportunities to give our customers larger capacities in their trailer setups, in their sprayer setups, so that they don't have to haul that water around quite as much, and they can have more water on hand with some of our semi-trailer setups and some of our larger tank setups that we have at different farm locations.
How have you guys been impacted by the supply chain issue?
So with our 9 locations across the country, if we have an item that we've fallen short on here in Fargo, we're able to go to our Columbus, Nebraska location or our Bakersfield, California location or Dothan, Alabama, and get the proper product in here to be able to take care of our customers in a short period of time.
So do you have anything exciting and new rolling out for your customers here soon?
We do. We've got some existing products that came to market about a year ago that are really starting to take off in our smart transfer systems, our STS systems, as well as some of the precision application equipment that we have on the side of being able to batch certain chemicals and batch certain fertilizers into systems like the Durameter and the Praxidine Mixmate. So these are items that we've started representing in the last year that our customers have really liked.
Jason Danley with Agspur Equipment, thank you so much for joining us today. Still ahead, it's the biggest week of the year for some 4-H kids.
You're invited to the second annual Open Forum meeting for Aqua Yield and Calcine, Tuesday, August 9th from 8 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. at the Holiday Inn in Fargo, North Dakota. Speakers include Jim Krebsbach and Warren Bell from Aqua Yield, as well as Tom Vanderheiden and Keith Caton from Calcine. Refreshments will be served. We look forward to seeing you there. For more information, contact Erickson Custom Operations.
Don't miss out on the equipment you'll need next season. Titan Machinery, your local Case IH dealer, has early order discounts on its full line of powerful, efficient, new Case IH equipment, including tractors, combines, and self-propelled sprayers. Get a great deal and ensure that you have the latest in productivity and technology. Supply chains are tight. Contact your Titan Machinery dealership today and find out how much you can save by ordering ahead. Titan Machinery, your local Case IH equipment experts.
It's summertime, and that means it's time for Farm Fest. Join us for more of what you love, August 2nd through the 4th. Farm Fest brings you more demonstrations, family entertainment, food vendors, and exhibits. Take in the Farm Fest forums and visit the seed plots, ride and drive demonstrations, and new networking lounge with live music and refreshments. See for yourself at Farm Fest, August 2nd through the 4th. For tickets, visit farmfest.com. Network, learn, grow, and experience more at Farm Fest.
Attention farmers and farming communities. The herbicide paraquat has been linked to Parkinson's disease. Paraquat, also known as Gramoxone, is still being used in the U.S. on corn, soy, and wheat crops and puts farm workers in danger. Producers across the country have filed lawsuits claiming that paraquat caused their Parkinson's disease and that the manufacturer failed to warn about the chemical's risk of neurological damage. If you or a loved one was diagnosed with Parkinson's after direct or indirect exposure to paraquat, call or visit solberglaw.com.
When planting season comes around, time is precious and you don't have a moment to waste. This spring, keep your planters rolling with a user-friendly seed tender from Northstar Ag. We have seed tenders for every size operation from Meridian, Unverferth, and J&M. Northstar Ag also sells a variety of Valmar spreaders, the leader in air boom delivery. Uptime is crucial. Keep your crew in the field longer with a fuel trailer from Thunder Creek. Visit NorthstarAg.com to see our complete new and used inventory or give us a call.
This has been State Fair Week in North Dakota, an especially exciting time for young exhibitors. Cody Freeberg and Jaron Hughes were among about 8,300 4-H members to participate in the State Fair in Minot. Cody and Jaron were both presented with awards of excellence for their ag-focused Project Expo entries.
I thought this would be a really fun project because I'm super interested in pigs. I show pigs. I do a bunch of things with pigs. The good thing about showing pigs is that after you're done showing them, you can eat them.
The kind of life skills on what can become in life and what's going to happen.
Where we're making sure that we're building those life skills to get to the state fair, understanding that it's not really about the project, it's actually about the person making that project. That's our end result.
Stories you'll only see on agweek.com and in Ag Week magazine this week. Union members have rejected a contract offer from American Crystal Sugar. And we look at how far the University of Minnesota's Forever Green initiative has come since it was founded a decade ago. We appreciate you watching Ag Week TV. Remember to check us out daily on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram to keep up on all your ag news. Have a great week.